Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Bullock. Oh, yeah, that'd be very helpful. Okay. So as you know, a few weeks ago we were here and shared with you our reason for wanting to go out to bid for a new transportation company that serve the East Valley and West End region. We did go out to bid, and what I wanted to do was just share with you really quickly, reasonings on why we decided to go out to bid, and a lot of this is very redundant until we eventually get to the information item. East Valley, we transport 311 students, West End 828 students, total 1,139. Total of 710 total trips of both the East Valley and West End, and then approximately 157 total buses for the East Valley and West End as well. These are our missions and goals and values: teach them well, keep them safe, prepare them for the future. We want to, as a transportation department, deliver all students safely and on time, provide excellent customer service, not just to our students, but to our districts and families. Here was some, again, some information on unreliable bus equipment: 4,271 late trips in 2010-11 academic year, which 50% of it was preventable. 856 mechanical problems and failures in 2010-11, which equates to 20% of the late trips for 2010-11 academic year. We had 23 mechanical failures per week, which was more than Rialto, Colton, Ontario, Montclair, Chaffee, Redlands, and Durham combined. Durham is the transportation company for San Bernardino Unified. Unreliable bus equipment, we had 85 instances of mechanical problems during the month of August 2011, which is this academic year, and we had an average of 21 mechanical problems per week. Our challenges have been with the current transportation company: the lack of staff dedicated to our contract, shortage of drivers, GPS not evaluated, monitored on a regular basis. Rather, our staff is having to do so, which takes away from all the proactive programs that we wish to do. And we have a lack of supervision in the field and poor response to ongoing issues. The current company had an unwillingness to take a proactive approach, even though we had many meetings to discuss different ideas, thoughts on how we could be proactive, on how we can serve our students much better. And within one academic year, we had 100 driver complaints from parents and school staff, and we removed 12 drivers throughout that academic year. The increased workload: 4,271 late trips in 2010-11, resulted in an average of 6 calls per trip, 25,626 phone calls for the late trips at 3 minutes per call, 76,878 minutes, 1,281 hours for academic year, 1.7 average hours per day on the phone, and all that is real data. And then the most important one was 2 unsatisfactory California Highway Patrol terminal inspections within one academic year. Now here's the bid information. We had 11 bid packets sent out for transportation vendors throughout the state, for that matter. Only 2 provided a bid: First Student, our current vendor, and Student Transportation of America. Student Transportation of America is basically out of Riverside. They do serve the Riverside County Office of Education. A no bid was received from Durham School Services, which serves San Bernardino Unified, and because the no bid was received after the 2 p.m. deadline, it was approximately 2:10, our department chose not to open it. It was a sealed envelope, and we don't know what was said on it. But they chose not to bid on it. However, for whatever reason, they chose to see see what the bid opening consisted of. Our recommended vendor is STA. Here's some information. 2010-11, I put down an average academic amount of days, 180, and it fluctuates depending on the districts. The annual estimated cost per bus for First Student for 2010-11 is $48,400. If we go down to the current contract, which is the next row, 2011-12, again, 180 days, the annual estimated per bus cost is $51,504. I put down 6% cost increase because that's how much they were given this year, this academic year, as opposed to last year. Now, in 2012-13, next academic year, first student is supposed to get a 7% increase, which would result, based on an average academic amount of days of 180, which would result into $55,109 per bus. Our recommended vendor, STA, for 2012-13, each bus would cost approximately $50,940. And one thing I would like to add, well, let's move on. We did some research on STA, the letters of confirmation from 2 bus manufacturers that they can provide brand new buses by July 2012, which was very shocking to us because one of our many issues with our current vendor is the age of their fleet. We would be very, very lucky if I had an 8-year-old bus. Very lucky. For the most part, they're 10 to 14 years old. So by going with STA, we would get brand new buses July 2012. They have a history of satisfactory California Highway Patrol terminal inspections that they provided us. Their finances are solvent and the references are extremely solid. In speaking with the references, they speak nothing but highly about STA, and in comparing the numbers of how many times per month STA is liquidated, which means basically they didn't uphold a certain area of the contract, whether it be delivering students on time, equipment breaking down, air conditioning is not working, so on and so on. It didn't even compare. As an example, if I may add, we liquidate per student $30,000 a month. The hard numbers, figures that were provided to us by the references, was hundreds of dollars a month. So they don't even compare. And again, we're still online with the timeline of the contract. If approved by the East Valley and West End, we can go out to bid. We did go out to bid November 2011. If we award the contract, it would be awarded by the end of this week, provided West End and East Valley accept it. This again allows an 8-month setup and mobilization of the new vendor, and the contract will be operational by August 2012. I see this as a very win-win situation. It allows us to save money per year for all the districts. It provides us better customer service for our students and districts, and we get brand new buses. And I really do think we can do some big and great things. So that is our recommendation. Yes, sir.
Is there a penalty for exiting the contract?
There is not. I don't believe, I am not exactly sure if it's 30 or 60 days notice, but all we have to do is give them notice. And one of the challenges why we could not really do that is you see how much work it takes to start up a new contract. I just can't tell the current company 30 days the contract is over because there's a lot of work and preparation to do for our students.
Any questions for Ralph?
But I just want to say that, Ralph, your work, at least in my mind, our action is fairly easy. Thank you for doing this, and evident that took a lot of time for you to thoroughly research this, and I appreciate it. A question on the fleet. Are they natural gas?
Yes.
The entire fleet is natural gas?
I believe so. And I can find out for you to make sure.
So do they have their own natural gas facility?
I don't know yet, to be honest with you. And I would have to make sure, Mr. Hamilton, so I can get with you on that, because I'm not exactly sure on which route they were going to go with. Because, yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to let you know.
When they mentioned that they're going to receive new buses,
yes,
is that through the grant process of getting rid of some of their gas buses to the natural gas buses, or do you know?
That was not stated at all within the bid.
I don't mean to ask questions that are so detailed. We're going through a similar situation now with our fleet, and I was curious if that is if those new buses are coming from crushing their old buses to get the.
I don't know. But we were because in the contract we stipulated the age requirement that we wanted, and based on our history of dealing with the current vendor. So we were very pleasantly surprised when we saw that they would be willing to provide new buses, brand new buses.
Well, I want to thank you and your staff for the effort you put in opening the bid up. Just for the two summers, I think that was a good way to go.
Yes.
I'm sorry, getting bids that would give us more choices, but I do appreciate the time and staff that we had.
Thank you.
Ralph, is this a 3-year rate as the one was with First Street?
It's 5 years.
5 years. I don't know, automatic cost increases built in?
In this one, there are not automatic cost increases. It would be based on a mutual agreement as well as any existing COLA that may be available. And I'll foresee one in the next few years.
Negotiated annually.